Good morning, good afternoon, traders. It's 26th of February 2021, and it's 03:54 in Central Time, 17:54 here in Southeast Asia, and 9:54 in London. See how this Asia crossover to London works, and also quite concerned about the issue with the charting. That was so crazy. I have sent emails to both TopStep and Tradovate, see what they come back with. I want to see what the hell happened. This looks like here this afternoon. I've also reinstated my Investor RT account, and I'm looking for the data feed connection from Tradovate. They'll need to give me some log on for the CQG trader data so that I can chart with Investor RT. And I will use the metrics page in the Performance Center from Tradovate and the Dome from Jigsaw. I think that's maybe keep one of these side by side somewhere, but after that mess last night, I'm kind of leery about it. I'm sort of disappointed. TopStep apparently has a problem. I can't switch brokerages or to just go strictly with Investor RT while I'm in the stage 2 of the combine. I would have to start all over from step 1, which is stupid. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. Now I may start another step 1, a combine, so I have 2 running. But what I will try to do here is get this to a funded account, the pro account, trade it for the $5,000, and close it out, or whatever, depending on how the other is. I'll have to see how it works, whether I can get the Investor RT pulling the data through the Tradovate, which should be no problem. Everybody says so on both of their websites, but I have to get I've just got to get that proper CQG pass-through logon data, and then we'll see how that works. Otherwise, I'll run this Tradovate account through pro account for the $5,000, shut it off, and continue on with the Investor RT account. That's kind of my thinking at this point. I'm really curious to see what happens when I get that. If I can get that other data, it will be no different than Jigsaw. I'll be able to trade. I'll have the charting here. I have this metric stuff down here, and I can have the Jigsaw Dome. So just essentially this charting will disappear, and it'll be Investor RT, which is phenomenally more accurate and rock solid. I'm very familiar with that. It's pretty much a professional platform. So we'll see what happens. I'm quite anxious to get a response back from Tradovate with that data information. See if we're going to get a little pullback here. See if we can get short one and make a little money. I'm sort of kind of looking at this as a damn game now. It's just disappointing after yesterday. They should trade the bounce off of the VWAP back down here to about the 1 standard deviation. Or not. Basically, well, that's happening at the moment. We're about a mixed bag of risk here. Partially on, partially off. our daily this stop should be above VWAP. That's about as close as you can get and not get stopped out. I don't think they're going to break through that again. Funny how that entry line can suddenly look like a support or resistance point. Not a trade down there. I'm not in the mood to take a loss here. Bring that stop up. If they take it, that's fine. That's just fine. See how we work here. So, kind of on pins and needles here, and it's Friday. Obviously, don't want to have a loss on the weekend. Drain that emotional capital. I was hoping there'd be some action on the Globex, but looks pretty obnoxious here. There was a sell-off at one point. God, that's frustrating. Do you see how that changed? Yes, well, keeps jumping, but POC's essentially run on the open. So they've traded up, they've traded down, and now they're back across. A nice move up there, and that would have been about the London Open, I'm guessing. Yeah. And you see how the VWAP moved again? Just a minute ago, VWAP was up here. And now this trade is looking completely different than it did. Oh, that's damned irritating. That's really irritating. Yeah, I'm afraid these boys are going to have to. I sent TopStep a description of the discrepancies in charting, etc. last night, and the response to the email was, well, don't use the new charting, use the legacy charting. And so I copied the email that I got from Tradovate, which says definitely use the new charting, don't use the legacy. So they got to get their story straight. Well, are you going to break down here, boys? Right there at that bottom, one standard deviation. Oftentimes, London will take it up like that and then bring it back down to VWAP. Let's see if that's the case this time. See if that's what they do this time. Got one of those little volume spikes right in there too. We got selling pressure on both ES and the 5-minute here. I'm half tempted to eliminate this stop, get rid of that break even part and let it play out. gets past this bottom down here, in theory, it ought to make it down to here, the 825 level, or obviously down to the POC. At 825 is value area high. Looking awful slow here. That's not too encouraging. Oh, there they go. Keep going. Oh, there we got our 10 points. All right, and now it continues to break. That's why I was thinking I'd remove that. See, and would have gotten another, bordering on another 10 points here. I was pretty much suspected we were going to do this. Really annoyed. I really hate having to do all this juggling and messing around with charting and platforms. And I wish somebody would just get a nice, reliable, easy to use. This thing was, fairly nice and easy to use. And then all of a sudden it starts with the changes they're making. I guess it's growing pains, and I don't find it dependable. So what the hell good is it? If it's not dependable, it's nothing more than a video game. Well, there we are, another 20 points from our last take profit, and we're going right back to the POC, looks like. VPOC. So I should have, my thinking now is going to be that I'm going to remove that bracket with the break even, or have it break even to entry in a tick or two, and then manually trail it and keep pushing out the profit, because I am missing a lot of these big moves like that right there. And, that would have been a substantial amount of money. That's another 10, 20, say 10, 20, 20 more points. Another $400. We would have been sitting here at $600 on the day. On the day. So it's not extremely jumpy here and light at the moment. Is that the pullback to short? I don't know. Or are we putting in a V bottom and heading back up? If you want to look at Delta, that's a pullback and going to go back down. They haven't even started to break structure. So problem is when it's lightly traded and thin, the books are thin. It's so easy. Look at this 10 lot sitting at 1875 or it's 50% of the book, 50% of the offers that they can't get down there to do it. Pretty piss poor. They left it off. Trading right in value, in range, in everything, I think. Let's have a look. Well, definitely in value and in range from yesterday's regular trading session, which is here. Now don't guess we're below value here and range on pretty much everybody else. It's a little bit easier to see. These are the regular trading hours. And here is the volume profile and the current price for today. But these are a little easier to see because it's only regular trading hours. You see how we were traded up, sold off, topped off, sold down. We're in a bit of a balance area here now. We've got basically just over the top of each other, a little bit higher, little higher, a little lower. Not much conviction going on there. Not much conviction. What's the daily look like? Well, there you have it. Right down exactly yesterday where I said in the pre-market it was going to test this wick down and this support area, and that's just where we closed it. So they have a very good possibility now to take this down lower because their structure. Hello. There you go. They've broken structure with this uptrend. And next real support area would be right around here, about the 427 area. Maybe these wicks right in here at the 460, which isn't a far cry from where they've been already during the glowbacks. But I'd maybe start taking a little longer trading view because I had this one pegged right on the money yesterday. Not that I have any desire to be right or wrong, because I know that it's a 50-50 probability each trade that is put on. But the goal is to take enough samples that the edge can manifest itself and consistent profitability develops. So if you're able to do a bit of technical analysis and figure out, what your high likelihood of a trend, and it was a high likelihood to me that we would close these wicks and get down in this balance area, and that's just what we did. So that's encouraging that I was able to see that. I did the same thing here. Did trade here and here. That's a little encouraging anyway. Well, it's just so annoying to me that I can't wind that back together and see the trade. It's just crazy talk. What's a 1 minute do? You can wind a 1 minute back. Why not the range chart? Huh. That's pretty hard. Pretty weird. Well, so there we are. It was a bounce off the VPOC. It didn't break down any further. $26 today, is it? Oh, I see I had the wrong date yesterday. have much going on right, apparently. I'll have to edit that. So here we sit. I think I'm going to I've only been on the stream, what, 20 minutes? Pretty sure it was 3:54 when I logged on, or when I greeted the crowd. We'll play this through to the bottom of the hour, and then take a break until just before the 20 or 30 minutes before the regular trading hours open. Hopefully I will hear something from both of TopStep or, well, Tradovate actually, and then I can get the data into Investor RT and see if I can find my old chart books and or rebuild a couple of charts to just mimic what I've got here. Pretty simple with Kim Delta and relative volume is kind of handy to have, and volume profile. And other than that, pretty darn simple. Pretty darn simple. Settle is 12,831, so they're just diddly whittling right around close, and the settlement and the closing. Regular trading hours close. I don't know whether I can get back there or not. I don't think so. It's goddamn irritating. Well, here's the close down here at the POC, it says. And I know this is wrong because I'm sure that was a wider. Yeah. Now it pops open and it's a lot wider. That's real annoying. Value area. Wow, it's just mega annoying. So there's the standard deviation. That ought to be a bounce. Probably already happened. Should be a bounce off of that back down. The problem is this congestion area or consolidation area is so close. That may be off the table now. And you don't really have any room to travel. So not particularly encouraging. Not too encouraging. And frankly, I don't see what the hell they're trying to accomplish here other than just trading the hell out of things. This was pretty definitely, they needed to get up off of VWAP here and explore higher for whatever reason, take care of some unfinished business probably, and then but down, it just looks like they're trading the hell out of it to me. And that's one of the problems with the lighter interbook slider market is they could move it around a lot. If you look here, it's 24 points on the total book. 21, 25. There you go. With a $3,000 TopStep account, you can trade 15 contracts. You could take out six or seven layers of the book. So if you know, one little day trader can have that kind of an impact, that people with deep pockets can push this thing around wherever they want it to go. So that's why it's a little dicey. Potential tweezer top here at something, a little bit of, I guess you could call that some sort of consolidation area or resistance or something. Sort of seemed to served as support here and here and here and kind of here and here and here again. So there's an area of interest there for sure, a level. Whether they're going to bounce off of it or come through it or not, that's another story. Got a big bunch of volume traveled up here on that one of those little skinny volume lines. POC's at 12.8. That's a real familiar number for several days. VWAP is 27.89. Was that what I said? Yeah, 27.89.75 and 800. So pretty much exactly right. Just look like on a 5-minute chart. Now there's a 5-minute. Which is a little bit less troublesome, but again, you've got to have some pretty wide stops. So let's imagine that we're going to short here, thinking this is a 1, 2, 3 pattern. 1, 2, 3, down we go. So close together, you can't even see. You can't even see the difference to the right there with the targets and the stops. They're so close together. And that's within a 10-point. These are just 10 points. So that's pretty crazy. Oh, let's see what's the matter. Not as crazy as it looked there before. There we go. That makes a little more sense. So that would be a reasonable place to short because you're wrong at the tops and you're now down to your 10-point target. So that would have been a relatively painless trade. Not much negative delta, which is a little bit. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? I don't know why on this small chart. Oh, that's with the 5 minute. I guess I can do it on both. You can wind it back whatever you want. So we were into this crossover for one trade, I think, or two trades. 215. Gonna scoot out of here at the bottom of the hour and take care of a couple things. Maybe catch a nap. Maybe catch another short. Let me just see what's going on there. Doesn't look too convincing over here or here. Getting into this consolidation in volume right here. So I will return to the stream here. I'll go off now. I think it's better than having a lot of long ones with no commentary and just charts bouncing around. I can't imagine that is helpful to anybody. It'll rig down though, darn it. I'm gonna be mad I didn't take another short when it gets down there to the POC. It ought to come to this low volume here. Sooner did I say that than it takes this for support and the buyers come in and take it up. All right, so trade safe if you're trading. You remember your goal is to be able to trade tomorrow. Manage your risk and especially important to manage your emotional capital on a Friday. There's nothing worse than taking a big loss and then having to think about it all weekend long. That's tough on you. So I'll be back in a couple of hours. Trade safe.